Yeah, and I wanted
Okay,
my
there we go.
first. I wanted to start off with where did your sports journey start for you?
Oh boy, you know, life was a little different for me than what I see for kids growing up these days. We didn't have video games and electronics and tablets and phones and all these different distractions that they have now. So I grew up in Southern California, and I was outside all day long and played all kinds of sports. I played little league baseball. I played um, you know, boys or back then it was just the boys club basketball. I swam. Um, I had, we were always outside. We were riding bikes. We were or playing frisbee or playing catch or just over the school playing over the line. And it was nothing but sports. And then I came from, my dad had quite an extensive sports background. He was actually drafted by the Yankees as a pitcher, but went into the Army and the Marines, and so that never materialized. But he was quite a football player. Matter of fact, he went to both UCLA, where I went, and to University of Santa Barbara. And back then, University of Santa Barbara had a football program, and he's in their Hall of Fame. They no longer have a football program, but um, and he ended up playing just briefly. Had a short stint at with the Cleveland Browns. And then as I was young, he always coached. He coached basketball. He coached baseball and did quite well. He coached. This is high school level. He was the head coach for football for a long time. He was involved in some scouting for professional, and anyway, it was just everything was basically sports, and we didn't have a lot of other distractions. And so one thing just kind of led to another, but I never stopped. I played um, basketball and baseball and football, and I dabbled a little bit in track. And then if it wasn't those, I was playing. This is really early in California for soccer. We used to play soccer on our own, and then the AYSO came in Southern California when I was in about fifth grade, and then we played a lot of soccer, and then I went through high school and was playing basketball, but then soccer became a sport in our high school when I was a sophomore. I didn't play. I chose to play basketball as a sophomore, not soccer. And then my junior year, I chose soccer for junior senior, and we actually went all the way to the CIF, which is a 3/4 of California Interscholastic Federation, 3/4 of the state of California. We went to the finals in
Jeez.
our in our third year in soccer at our high school. So anyway, it was a long journey of sports, and I wish that other children now had those kinds of I guess I'd say they have the same opportunity, but you just don't see kids do that. And I'm of the philosophy that a um, a someone in sports should have a well-rounded background in sports. I think one sport will help another sport. I remember my dad would always say, if I could get a basketball player to play football or a wrestler to play football, they always had an advantage. He loved that. And if I see if kids play sports now, usually they just fine tune them at a young age. Like he's going to be a catcher, in baseball, and then they just do catcher camps, and all they do is they travel around, and he's just a catcher, 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 and that either pans out or it doesn't pan out. And I just don't think that that's the right way to do it. I don't
For
think you
sure.
need to specialize till much later in your sports career.
For
That's
sure.
my philosophy. But
Definitely. Hey, I was about to mention the soccer aspect because I had Nick Novak that played in the NFL also, and he he started off with the game of soccer to transition into football in high school. So you guys have a similar background, if you know what I mean.
yeah,